academic talks, government dare not respond to them.
Dares not respond.
They dare not respond.
Now, what do you think? We are talking about, we have benchmarked South Africa, we have benchmarked Nigeria, we have distinguished, and we have said we have many years to catch up with them. So, exactly what does the Nigerian government and Nigerian people, the Nigerian society, the private sector in Nigeria, the organized private sector needs to do, and how do you think we can do that to get closer to where South Africa is?
And okay, before I quickly answer that, according to my research, we must also not forget that South Africa is also not leading even in Africa. And if I tell you the country that is actually leading in terms of adoption of information and communication technology.
What country is that?
And that's Kenya.
Kenya.
I'm telling you, Kenya is number one.
In Africa?
In Africa. When it comes
ahead of South Africa? Ahead of Nigeria?
Far ahead of every other country in Africa. So Kenya is the only country where you see, maybe you should Google what they call M-Pesa.
Yeah. Somebody, Mr. Mutalubi Ujwesihen was here on Saturday. He spoke about M-Pesa,
exactly.
like a money
transfer.
Fintech.
It's a fintech system. Our fintech in Nigeria is doing very, very well. But this M-Pesa thing was actually an initiative of Safaricom, a mobile network provider in Kenya. And one thing about the government of Kenya, so I'm not sure about the current administration of Kenyan President Ruto.
But the previous government?
Up until the previous government of the president of Kenyatta, the rate at which that country adopts IT and ICT is alarming. So if you go to Kenya now, you don't need a bank account. You just need a phone number.
From your point of view.
From your point of view, you just need a phone number. A person that is not educated, that has zero level of education, can operate M-Pesa. They don't know. It was a policy that was poorly implemented. It was poorly implemented. Good move.
A good move.
It's a good move, but it's a poorly implemented policy.
Let's take this break now. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Akim. I'll be speaking with Dr. Lekon Ogunleye, and the program is Point Blank. We'll take this break and we'll be back.
káàdì ìkíni ní ìkànnì vintage 93.7 FM Olúyọ̀lé Ìbàdàn ti gbẹ̀rẹ̀ gẹ̀jìgẹ̀. ó fi mọ́ orí adé tó ń tọrin ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́ níjọ àti ẹ̀yin gbajúmọ̀ láàrin ìlú. àǹfààní ti wà fún yín láti wá ra káàdì ìkíni láti fi kí ẹbí yín. ìpolówó ọjà wa 2290 tàbí 0818.
Welcome back. The program is Point Blank. My name is Akim Karim, and I have with me Dr. Lekon Ogunleye, who is an ICT expert, who majors in majorly
situation where we human being.
Oh, say that again. And not just like a human being. I read that. I read that. Okay. I said to perform tasks normally requiring human intelligence. Oh, so an intelligent
human being. That's basically. So an intelligent human being is somebody like you that has the talent, the intelligent. So now you see what we mean. So an intelligent human being is a medical doctor. So when you go to a medical doctor and you say, I'm having a headache,
give the symptoms.
They will not just say, take Panadol, go and use it, like we do as normal human beings. We do so because we are not medical doctors. That's why when we think
self-medication.
That's why when we think when you are having headache, you just have to use either paracetamol or Panadol. But if you go to a doctor, they will go deeper down and say,
do tests
exactly to be able to
diagnostics.
The reason why you are having headache is maybe because you have migraine,
or you have not been sleeping well enough.
You have not been sleeping well, you have stress, or you have high blood pressure. So they will not just say, go and take
these drugs.
So that's an intelligent person. So a computer that can act in that way, because they've been doing it every day, every
That's
day.
gone their routine.
Every day. That then becomes the data that they are using to learn is the road mapping that they are taking. Let me now map it for you this way. If you look at your Android phone, let me use the Android phone. The Google map on your Android phone, when you sleep in a particular house or location for more than 2 weeks, and you move in that location, let's say 8 a.m. in the morning
To your workplace.
every day. For
It
2
will
weeks.
register that place as your home.
It will register where you are sleeping, where you are spending
Passing
the
the
night
night.
as your
Your
home.
home.
The place where you are going from 8 to 5, it will
As
register
your-
it as
as a
your
workplace.
work. Even that place may not be your workplace.
workplace.
So it will think that is your workplace. And then you see that over time, Google will start telling you it will take this amount of time
From
to
your
get to
home
work.
to your workplace.
It will
25
take
minutes
this amount of time
with light
to
traffic.
get to work. Exactly. So that is basically the concept of machine learning. So machine learning is an autonomous computer that is using algorithm and model to learn patterns or trends from data in order to be able to make an informed decision.
To make informed decision.
Informed decision.
You why trying to read up for this program so that I'll be at least be looking like a mumu in the studio. I read a lot about cybersecurity, and I also realized that Nigeria happens to be the 16th worst country for cybersecurity. How did we get to that level? When you're talking of policy statistics, we're always like 120, 198. But when you talk of cybersecurity, they say we are the 16th country that is most prone to that. You are the expert in cybersecurity.
So cyber attack is basically there are different forms, and you kind of realize that in Nigeria we don't really take much interest or cognizance into that, and as a result, Nigeria is actually, according to my experience, I might be wrong, the only country that releases information anyhow. And up until now, there's still no policy that actually
release information anyhow. How anyhow?
So you see that's your phone number is very, very vital and important. Your phone number, your phone number is your information. Shouldn't be given to anybody anyhow. But you realize that on a daily basis, you get more than 5 SMSs
from people you don't know.
From people that you don't know.
Text
messages, advertising to you. So somebody somewhere.
So who have your data are sold to a third party.
Exactly. That's number
with
one.
or without your consent.
Yes, that's number one. And it shouldn't be so. That's why you have some of these policies even in Europe. There's a policy that we call GDPR.
GDPR, what does that mean?
I can't really.
Is it about data protection?
It's about data protection. So even any company that is going to work in the whole of Europe, you have to follow that GDPR, otherwise you'll be fined heavily. Not even
the way Meta was fined.
Exactly.
The way Meta was fined.
One of that Meta broke that particular policy, and they got fined for it. Those are some of the. Now, even on social media, you see that we release a lot of information on social media, and like I said, and that's why I said I may be wrong. I think it basically boils down to the fact that maybe some of us, and as a Nigerian, I'm going to take responsibility. So I'm going to say myself inclusive.
Okay.
Maybe because it born out of we want to impress people. So we release a lot of information
that we're not supposed to.
Release. For instance,
but then let me come in here. Cybersecurity doesn't necessarily have to be you revealing your information. It's usually malicious attacks. I know there could be insider dealing. I know, but from what I read, I didn't put it down. From what I read, there are also instances of organizations deliberately coming out. Let me give you an instance. The INEC said during the last election that they could not upload instantly because their servers were hacked more than I forgot the number now. Thousands of times.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And so it's not as if the INEC wanted people to attack its server. So now let's use Vintage FM as an example or me as an example, what should I do to protect myself from cyber attacks? Or am I immune from it?
No. So, first, what security policy do you have in place as an organization? You see, in terms of IT and ICT, everything is not all about technical. Technical. Number one, your strategy is very, very important.
Strategy is
as
important.
An organization. What is the alliance between your business strategy and IT strategy? It's very, very important. You see, simple thing as how to construct your password as an organization is very, very important. That is why when you are signing up onto some website, they tell you how your password must
should be. They tell you should be alphanumeric.
Exactly.
You should use a capital font. You should use this space bar.
Those are part of security policy. How your email address should look as an organization. But you just see that some organization they even leave you to create any password that you like. So in 2014, when LinkedIn was hacked, people are having password like, I love my husband. I hate my husband. I'm sad.
Password.
I'm sad. Those are some of the words that are inside the dictionary. And in cybersecurity, there's something we call dictionary attack. Kind of an attack where you pull all the words inside the dictionary
and use them
and mix them together. Match them together.
To hack a system.
So that's number one.
Well, what's the place of encryption in all of this?
That's another thing. Encryption basically is when you transform the data in such a way that it doesn't really have meaning to